So Andrew Yang is a pretty controversial presidential candidate. I was extremely critical of Andrew because he lied about his healthcare plan. He claimed to be pro-Medicare for all when in reality he was not pro-Medicare for all. And in fact, all we know about his health plan is he's not for Medicare for all. We don't even know what his health plan really is. All we know is it damn sure ain't Medicare for all. And so when you lie about your healthcare plan, which is to the voters the most important issue, how the hell am I supposed to trust you on literally anything else? Because if you're willing to make up your healthcare plan, which is the biggest issue, well, you're going to make up side shit real easy. It's going to be real easy for you, right? And then he had these sunset clauses on regulations and wanting to shift over federal jobs to the private sector. And it's just like, what is going on here? All this stuff is so weird. But he joined CNN as a political commentator, and Chris Christie joined, I believe it was CNN as a political commentator. Chris Christie is actually a really damn good political commentator. Maybe a douche, but his analysis seems to be pretty on the money every time that I've seen it. Andrew Yang is the opposite. His analysis is straight garbage. Like, it's really, like, objectively speaking, forget what you think about Andrew Yang. I don't care. I'm talking about his analysis, what he says, and his judgment calls. They are god-awful. So here he's going to endorse Joe Biden. The race isn't even close to over yet. There's totally a chance for Bernie to come back. Okay, barely is down. You know what I mean? Down like 100, 150 delegates. States haven't even fully counted the ones that he won. So it's very premature to do that. But let's go ahead and hear him out.
Needs to be defeated. 42% of my supporters said they would not support the Democratic nominee in the general, in large part because when I ran for the problems that predated Trump. Like, Donald Trump would never be our president today if things were going well for a lot of people around the country. Bernie Sanders would not have almost been the nominee last time if things were going well for people around the country. So even as Joe Biden's saying, hey, we need to defeat Donald Trump, he also has to say, look, things have not been working for millions of Americans. And after we defeat Donald Trump, we need to get deep into these problems, get our hands dirty, and solve them. And so this can't be like a, hey, I'm better than Trump race. It has to be, hey, I understand how Trump became our president.
And do you think he's not doing that in the primaries?
You know, I think he's been talking in a lot of moral language about restoring a culture and tone in the soul of the country. I was talking about trying to put money into Americans' hands because I saw that we've decimated entire ways of life in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. And because I was talking in those terms about the real problems that these people have experienced, again, 42% of my supporters were not going to support the Democratic nominee. I'm hoping that we can get some of those people to support Joe, but it would be helpful if Joe acknowledged, because one of the weaknesses of saying, hey, return to Obama years, is that there are many Americans that were getting left behind in those years too, and they're pissed off.
Yep.
And so if you just say, hey, I'm going to revert, that loses. To at least among that group of people.
I agree.
There are so many Americans who just don't think that our institutions are working for them at all. And Joe Biden's big weakness is that he represents those institutions. You know, I'm endorsing Joe. Like, we need Joe to beat Trump, but we'll have a much better chance of that if Joe recognizes that our institutions have been failing many Americans for a long time.
So, yeah, it's pretty tough to keep up with the guy because he's basically saying Joe Biden represents the institutions that have left American people behind. The idea of, oh, Barack Obama's presidency was literally heaven, and 40K people weren't dying due to lack of health insurance. Bro, Obama was literally using predator drones. Drones you can't even see, to the point where in Pakistan, people are scared of the sky because you can't see the fucking drones. And so you get droned at any point. You be outside, like you're doing some metal shit or whatever, kablam, you're dead because there's a fucking predator drone in the air. They were literally scared of the sky to look up. It's insane. So he was triple tapping weddings in Yemen. He was killing innocent civilians overseas, literally bombing hospitals, by the way, like the Kunduz hospital. And that 40K people were dying every year, yada, yada. There was no structural change under Barack Obama. All he did was put a bandage, which did not provide any real change. And Obamacare was a little bandage on a wound that needs surgery, all right? Or at least antibiotics. It's like an infection. You put a Band-Aid on it. Well, it didn't do shit. And then, what happens when you have a Band-Aid on it? Next administration, wah! Peel that shit back. Peel that shit back, Rosie. Dodd-Frank, what happened? Peel that shit back. All of it. All of it gone. DACA, peel that shit back. All of it. DACA was executive order, obviously, so it's even easier to pull back. But the point here being is that How can you endorse somebody who is part of those institutions and then claim that he needs to recognize that? People who are part of the problem are not going to recognize that they're part of the problem. That's not how it works. Otherwise, there would be no problem, right? But even if you were to come out and say it, what would you want him to say? He represents those institutions. And so you have this deeper analysis, which is on the money, which is that Donald Trump is the symptom. You know what I mean? He's not the core cause of the problem. And so you know that. But then you're endorsing Joe Biden. How demented and stupid do you have to be to do those two things? You acknowledge that there's a deeper problem, and then you endorse the guy who's going to keep that system going. How exactly is Joe Biden going to separate himself from all the institutions and the establishment that he's a part of? It's literally impossible. Do you want him to pay lip service to the American people? Because I know sure as fuck he's not going to find a way to basically separate himself from these institutions. It's impossible. Literally impossible. So that's not going to happen. But I don't understand what he's doing. The person, according to his analysis, the guy that he should be endorsing and should have endorsed a long time ago, who is it? Bernie Sanders. That is who he should have endorsed. Because Bernie is the guy, he's the solution to this stupid cycle that we've been in, this dumb carousel that we're in. That's why we're getting to a point where we have to we're trying to break the carousel. But it's so difficult because the establishment doesn't want to let go of their power grip. They don't want to let go of what they have. They don't want to let go at all. And so that's what makes it so difficult, right? So Andrew Yang endorsing Joe Biden, like you're a sellout, bro. The reality of what he's doing is he's just trying to make a play for leverage. All these politicians are playing a game, right? If you endorse Joe Biden now, you get points, extra points later. You create connections. You create IOUs. You create leverage. All right, and that's what he's trying to do. He's a player in the game, is what he is. Like Elizabeth Warren said, he's a player in the game. So Andrew Yang, total sellout. He also said that he would endorse somebody only if they adopted UBI. Joe Biden doesn't support UBI. Yeah, just total sellout and a fraud, man.